Hello everybody, Intuition here. Thank you so much for making some time and space for us. Something that we would like to talk about, which we've talked about before, or at least have alluded to many times, is the idea of reintegrating with yourself and how important that is, as it is important for you to remember the universal principality that you are, to dispel the illusion that we are all in, to have a chance for you to have a happy, joyous life, and that is in the very least, at best, transcend this physical place and move back home where we are all very excited and waiting for you to get your ass back to, so to speak. So the importance of integrating with yourself and also dispelling some of the other things that we have heard many times before from the 6 universal principalities and their understanding of things, not to say that they are wrong, but that is not how we understand things. And what we have heard is the higher self, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, the God consciousness, all of those things. And it is not to say that those things aren't important or that, again, those universal principalities are wrong in their remembrance of all that is. However, all of those concepts minimize the powerful universal principalities that you inherently are. They kind of say, yeah, you're pretty cool, but guess who's cooler? This authority, this presence, this more powerful being over you. So yeah, you're pretty cool, but also God, right? God is really cool. And not to say that God is not the coolest. I mean, he really is the coolest, and he is not a he, but also that is another conversation for another day. But the universal consciousness that is God is the universal principality that is curiosity. And so therefore curiosity, to reintegrate with curiosity, you already encompass curiosity because that is the spark that allows you to be here in this physical place or to be in the space in which we originate from. So it doesn't really make sense to reintegrate with yourself in that sense because you're already integrated in that aspect. So the idea of a higher self is also kind of silly unless you were literally talking about, I don't know, they're levitating over you, which might make more sense than the idea of a higher self, which would mean that this higher self has more power than you do, because that is also silly. The higher self or the more integrated aspect of self is not higher than you. It is not more aware than you are. It is simply just not in an illusion, which therefore gives it more of a 360 aerial perspective of objectivity. But objectivity does not mean that they are more powerful than you are. It just simply means that they are not caught in the minutia of the craziness that this illusion pulls over our eyes. So to say that something, the higher aspect of yourself, or God, or anything like that has more power than you do in this physical place that you created is silly. It is a funny joke that is probably the best running joke that you all have here. So the idea is when we talk about reintegrating yourself with all that is simply reintegrating yourself with your memory of what it is that you are. And you all are, again, universal principalities that don't come from this place. You made this place. This place does not exist, and then therefore you exist. This place exists because you put it here, because you made it. Not just this place, but this universe, this whole universe. Guess who made it? Little lowercase g's. You guys. You gods. You all created it. So this place exists because you put it here, because you made it. Not because of any other factors, not because you were amoebas and then you grew legs and now you're just causing chaos and havoc on the earth. No. You created this place and this place therefore gets to exist and not the other way around. But you forget that because this density, this place is so dense, is so illusory, that it's easy to forget all that it is that you are in this very dense place. So it is, when we say again, reintegrating yourself with yourself, it really simply means getting in touch with the aspect of yourself that is not actually here in density, but the aspect of yourself that is still on the outside, that is still at home, waiting for you, the other aspect of self, to come back. And we will explain what we mean by that in perhaps another video, but we do not want to get sidetracked. So again, to reintegrate with yourself simply means to get in touch with the memory of all it is that you are. And that simply is remembering the universal principality that you are. And when you remember the universal principality that you are, you remember our collective story. And in our collective story, you remember your identity. And in your identity, again, you remember the universal principality that you are. Every universal principality has an incredible superpower, has an incredible skill set that no other universal principality has. And so, that makes you invaluable. That makes you incredibly badass. That makes you so capable that you can create worlds and universes. But because you smacked your head on the planet, you don't remember all that you are. So to reintegrate with yourself just gives you the opportunity to remember that I'm a badass. Remember how I created this planet and this place to begin with, which then gives me the opportunity to have a happy, joyful life at the minimum. And at best, to dispel the illusion, break the shackles that this place is holding you in, to let go, and to move back home, again, to all that you are. So, to reintegrate with yourself is to remember all that you are. And as you remember all that you are able to evolve in a new way. And also, to understand that you are the most evolved that you will ever be, more evolved than the universal principality that you are reintegrating with. And again, you are still that universal principality. But it is the sense of you are reintegrating again with the memory of the truth of who it is that you are, and an aspect of yourself that is not necessarily here in physical density. But because that aspect of yourself is not in physical density, it does not have the growth that you in density have. And because you have a very specific growth that you have mastered here in simply being in this place, you are more evolved than the universal principality that you still are, than the universal principality that you are connecting with and remembering all that you are from. So to say that a more evolved aspect of self, your higher self, is above you, beyond you, better than you, it is insanity, because you are the most evolved that you will ever be. Because again, your growth is very specific, and you have gone through an incredible amount of growth just having to go through the minutia of this crazy illusion that you all created in the first place. Something that we would never, ever, ever create in our home, because holy shit, why? But nevertheless, you guys created it. You, little case G's, created it. And in that, you created an incredible learning experience. And let's hope you're learning something, because if not, then again, why the hell have you guys taken such an incredible sidestep in our evolution as universal principalities into something that is dense and messy and hairy and bleh, right? This is not us. We don't have bodies where it is that we come from. So the idea is, as you start to reintegrate with all that you are on the other side, so to speak, you realize that you are the more evolved aspect. Not to say that that universal principality is less evolved, but that universal principality has no idea what the hell it means to be in physical space in a physical body doing physical shit. That's not the bread and butter of the universal principality in which you come from. So you are the most evolved that you are ever going to be, in the very least right now. In the next moment, you'll be even more evolved. And then in the next one, you'll be even more evolved. But for right now, you are the most evolved that you will ever be. How exciting, how wonderful. That also might be scary because you think, Jesus Christ, I made some crazy decisions just a few minutes ago. So the idea that I am more evolved, or the most evolved than I have ever been is scary. But that is why a lot of these religions and ideas tell you that there is something higher and above you so that you don't feel so scared when you hear, you're it. But also, how exciting, because that forces you somewhat to be more accountable for the powerful badass that you are. Because there is nothing above you. It is just you. I mean, there is God, but God doesn't really like to interfere. God is like the energy of a child, because again, it is the energy of curiosity. Not to say that God is per se a child, but God does not like to interfere. So again, you are the one that is accountable and responsible for all that you create. And God would never do a pissing contest in which God would say that they are above you in any way. That would again take away the curiosity that is you. So as you continue to reintegrate with all that you are on the other side, so to speak, where it is that we come from, so to speak, it is important to realize that that aspect of yourself, that is still you, that universal principality, that is inherently you, is limited because it only understands the space in which we originate from and not the place in which you are now. So again, you are the most evolved. There is nothing or no one else above you, just you. And because of that, you have to give yourself a little bit more credit. And if that's really scary, then start reintegrating with yourself. Because as you start to remember all it is that you are, it becomes a lot less scary. If you get into a car today, but you have amnesia and you don't remember that you're a truck driver and that you've been driving trucks your whole life, and you get into this car today and because of the amnesia, you forget what a car is or a truck is, and therefore, but you still have to drive it, you're going to be terrified. But if you sit down and take a breath and remember, oh shit, yes, if I wade through this traumatic brain injury, this amnesia that I have, then geez, I remember I used to drive trucks. I remember I loved driving trucks. I actually fucking built this truck with my bare hands. That's why it's all pimped out and customized in the way that I like. Yes, I love this truck. Let me drive this truck. I'm gonna drive until the wheels come off. But you only have that courage, that courageousness, that excitement. You only know how to drive the truck when you remember that you're the truck driver and that you built the truck and that this truck was made for you and you made the truck. You don't sit there and start praying to God, oh God, please help me to remember how to drive the truck. Because God, the OG God, will just sit and laugh at you and say, ha ha ha, how curious I am to see how the hell this is gonna pan out, because, I am the universal principality of curiosity. Not to say that God isn't with you all the time and helping you and aiding you when you need it, but God, again, does not like to interfere when you got it. And if all you have to do to get it is to reintegrate and remember all that you are, then God certainly will not step in for that, because you got it. You know how to do this. You built the fucking truck. You built this place that is the world. You built the universe. God didn't do that. God did it kind of, sort of, because you are the spark of God. So God was always there with you when you were doing it. But let's be accountable. It was you. You did it. So if you built this place, you made this place exists because you made it, then let's get a hold of it, shall we? Let's get a hold of this place that we all made together and stop acting like we're surprised. Oh my goodness. Jeez. The ice caps are melting. Oh my goodness. Jeez. There's no water left to drink. Oh my goodness. Jeez. The forest is on fire. Why are we surprised? You set it on fire. You melted the ice caps. You drank all the water. And again, that is not to say shame on you, but also, if that's not what you like, then let's change it. You made this place to begin with. All you have to do is remember that you made it. Remember how you made yourself work as a universal principality, and therefore the skill set and therefore your powers, and how to activate them so that they come forth through you and not when you least expect it to. So if you don't like what you're seeing, then what are you doing to change it? Because you can change it. What is it, the Smokey Bear? You can stop forest fires. You can change the shit. So change it. If this is not to your liking, little lowercase g God, then let's change it together. And all you have to do is remember all that you are to be able to change it. And that means reintegrating with yourself, not your higher self, not the self that is the big bad daddy that comes and shames you when you've done something wrong. Just the other aspect of yourself that's sitting at home, in our home, chilling out, watching the crazy things in which we're doing, saying, wow, that's one way to learn. We much prefer this other way. So that's a lot to take it. And it could be confusing, as we are intuition, and most of the things that we say only make sense to us sometimes. But hopefully something does stick. And if it doesn't, in time, I'm sure you will reintegrate with yourself enough to remember what the hell I'm saying. So we will leave you with that. As always, thank you for making some time and space for us in your busy day. And we wish you love and light and an easy remembrance, an easy transition back into all it is that you are. Good luck.